Hello everyone, this is Dr. Camp signing on, and tonight I want to come on and I want to talk to you about friendship. I did about 4 different posts on friendship, and they were all just tips on how to find a friend and how to make a meaningful connection. So this will be the last tip on that particular subject, and I'm going to be coming from 1 Samuel Chapter 20. Now that we talked about the 4 different ways to find a friend and have a meaningful connection with them, I'm going to mention how to identify a good friend. And I'm going to look at the story of David and Johnathan. So that story is in 1 Samuel chapter 20. Just basically read the whole chapter. And then you can plug in David and Jonathan's relationship, and it'll show you a lot of different things. But if you want to learn what to look for in a friend, this chapter will help you. Amongst many, but this is one of my favorites. So we have here with David and Jonathan. They were we call BFFs. So David was supposed to become king at some point, and Saul was supposed to train him to become a king. However, when the people praised David more than they praised Saul got jealous, and then he set out to kill David. Well, Saul was Jonathan's father, and David and Jonathan were very, very close friends. So as Saul sought out to kill David, Jonathan and David remained friends. Now, how many of us know that is a big, big deal in society today? Not only in society, but even in the church. There is a lot of people that if this was their case scenario, and David, if Saul's father didn't like David, then Jonathan would have been. If Saul would have had a problem with David, then Jonathan, Saul's son, would have, what this culture does today, would have said, well, I'm taking his side because that's my dad. How many of us know that sometimes people say that? They say, well, I'm not dealing with them because they mess with my dad. I'm not dealing with them because they mess with this person or that person. But here is Saul and David having a problem, but Jonathan taking a stand and remaining David's friend in the midst of his father not liking him, not actually trying to kill him several times, and he remained his friend. So here we see one characteristic to look at when you're looking for a friend, because we talked about how to find a friend and how to make meaningful connections. Now we established that. So now we're going to look at what does a friend look like. Okay, Jonathan and David is a perfect relationship to look at. So in verse 3 it says, it talks about when you'll find favor in your friend's eyes. So David told Jonathan, look, your dad, because he was supposed to come to dinner, and David was hesitant about coming to dinner to Saul's house because he thought Saul was going to try to kill him again. And so he didn't go. And then David told Saul, he said, David told Jonathan, he said, you know your father knows that I have found favor in your eyes. So when you have someone in your life that's your friend, everyone around them is going to know that you have favor in their eyes. Anybody you talk to them be like, oh, well, yeah, she talks about you all the time, or he talks about you all the time. Oh, we know who you are. And it's always a positive affirmation behind it, a positive statement behind it. a smile on their face when they say it, because that they know that person has found favor in your eyes. So listen out for that. What other people are saying about your relationship with that person. Are they saying, "Oh yeah, I heard about you, girl. Yeah, you cool. Yeah, your girlfriend talks about you all the time." Then that's somebody that you want to consider to be a friend. The second thing is in verse 9. Here it says, I got down here, a friend will let you know if someone is trying to hurt you. So in this case, it was Saul was trying to hurt David. Now Johnathan is all in the middle of this. That's his dad, and this is his best friend. But yet, Johnathan decided that he would let David know if his dad was going to try to hurt him. So they concocted this here scheme, this little plan to let him know if the father was going to be angry and try to kill David at their house. If he came over to eat at their table, would he try to kill him? So what we call it in our society, he had his back. So if you have a friend that'll let you know that something's coming down the pike, and it's going to be bad for you, and they telling you, be careful because, these people are not speaking well of you, I don't think you should come. I don't think you should show up. Or they giving you advice about it. And it's not like going back and forth behind your back. They just telling you, stay away, because this is not a good setting for you right now. These not good vibes. That's a friend that's looking out for you. Now, what you don't want to do, you don't want somebody to be telling you one thing and then telling them another thing, and then got y'all two arguing. You got this person, David and Johnathan. Johnathan only told David, this is what's going on. Okay? I don't know if my dad is trying to hurt you or not, but we're going to get a plan and we're going to find out. So you got to investigate first before you make assumptions. So they investigated. They got this plan. So a friend is somebody that will let you know if somebody's trying to hurt you. The next thing in verse 16, friends will make a covenant with you. So a covenant is an agreement to do or not to do something. And here is them two, David and Johnathan, was actually making a covenant. And remind you, these are two guys. And they making a covenant with each other. And basically the covenant was that David's enemies would eventually, be done with. So they made a covenant. They was making a covenant with each other about David's enemies. So sometimes if you got this friend in your life, they all about you. That covenant was all about David's safety, David's enemies being overthrown one day. So the next thing is in verse 30. It says, friends will take sides with you even if it offends someone important in their lives. So if you have a friend, this is what you look for in a friend. They know they have a person in their life that they honor, and they find that they are so special, and they look up to them. But that person's not doing the right thing. They're just not doing the right thing. So they are going to take the side of the person that's being wronged, the friend. No matter what the father, like in this case, Saul was trying to kill David. Johnathan was not going to take the side of his father, because that was his dad. He was like, that's not right, and this is my friend. So he will take sides with you even if it offended somebody that's important, like his father. His father is his dad, but yet he was still like deciding to be friends with David. He was deciding to be friends with David, even though his dad was really, really mad at him. And then, so that's what you look for, somebody that will have your back. Friends will take sides with you, even if it offends someone else that they care about. I see this a lot. I see it a lot, and at least in my circle, in my area, in my scope, I see a lot of people just not being there for each other, because they don't want to offend somebody that they hold in high esteem. So they leave the other person out there. They like, well, we're friends, but when this person around, we're not. I'm gonna be on their side because of their importance or their prominence, but you don't matter anymore to that person. I've seen a lot of that happening. That people that say they're friends with each other, they step to the side of somebody's prominent or importance, or that they think is important, and then they will, when that person's around, that's it. They're not taking your side no more. They only want they real silent on the matter because this person is important to them, or they want something from that person, so they kind of leave you out there. That has happened to a lot of people that I know, even myself. So that is not something that you want to happen to you. So make sure you have this person, this friend. After you go through all these steps of trying to find a friend and getting a good connection, you got to have all these things in place too. This friend will take sides with you, even if it's about somebody that is very important to them, or special, or big in name, or stature, or they got money, or whatever it is. This person is not going to leave you out there hanging because somebody else came up with prominence or power or something like that. The last one is friends will miss, honor, and they will cry with you. So you want that person in your life that's going to miss you when you're gone, and you'll know it because they like, oh my God, they actually, Johnathan and David actually cried. They cried, and they said David cried harder. And they will honor you. Your friend, this person that you find getting in your life, they are going to honor you. They want to make you feel like very special. He was like bowing down and throwing kisses to him. So that's what you want to look for in a friend. So as you go out and you do those, you got to go back and listen to the other 4 videos. But you want to definitely make sure that in the end, they have all of these characteristics that Johnathan and David had. 1 Samuel Chpt. 20. Just go read it. It's going to bless you because that's how friendship looks. And it says a person who has friends shows himself friendly. So if this person is not showing themselves to be any of these characteristics, then they're not showing themselves to be friendly. And maybe that's not a good connection for you. The Bible talks about Jesus being sticking closer than a brother. So sometimes it's not all about family. Some of you say, oh, families, it says blood before friends. But sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it's just not like that. If you get a friend, because Saul stood up to his father. Johnathan stood up to his father. And he knew that David was more important than that bloodline. So don't get mixed up. Don't get blood mixed up. Don't get old friends mixed up. Don't get people that you've been friends with 30 and 40 years. Don't get that mixed up. Don't get none of that mixed up. You look for these characteristics in 1 Samuel 20. And that person shows them characteristics to you, then that is a friend. So age don't mean anything. Time don't mean anything. Blood don't mean anything. 1 Samuel Chpt. 20, the relationships of David and Johnathan, that's what means a lot. So I'm going to leave you with that 1 Samuel Chpt. 20. If you're looking for that friend, look for those characteristics. And when you see that in that person, then that right there is somebody that you want to connect with. So again, this is Dr. Camp signing off. I am at beginagainllc.net. My email address is Bernadette's Family, beginagain Proverbs 24:16 @gmail.com. And my website is beginagainllc.net. God bless you. Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye-bye.